lovely viewers, you are most welcome to our channel Poetry Online. In this lesson, we shall be discussing the summary and analysis of Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get updates on all our new videos. Once again, let us assure you of a very interesting discussion. Get ready for this lesson. Wuthering Heights is the only novel written by Emily Bronte. It was published in 1847. The story of Wuthering Heights is one of revenge. It revolves around the life of Heathcliff, a mysterious gypsy-like person. The novel takes us through his childhood, about 7 years old, to his death. Heathcliff was raised in his adopted home, where he was later reduced to the status of a servant. He runs away when the lady he loves decides to marry someone else. He returns later in the novel, after many years, as a rich and educated person who seeks revenge from the two families he believed ruined his life. In the late winter months of 1801, a man named Lockwood rents Manor House, which was called Thrushcross Grange. It is located in an isolated moor country of England. Here, Lockwood meets his landlord, Heathcliff, a wealthy man who lives in an ancient manor of Wuthering Heights, 4 miles away from Thrushcross Grange. In this wild and stormy countryside, Lockwood asks his housekeeper, Nellie Dean, to tell him the story of Heathcliff and the strange things happening in Wuthering Heights. Nellie agrees to do so, and Lockwood writes down his recollection of a story in his diary. This written recollection forms the major part of Wuthering Heights. Nellie remembers her childhood. As a young girl, she worked as a servant at Wuthering Heights for the owner of the manor, Mr. Earnshaw, and his family. One day, Mr. Earnshaw goes to Liverpool and returns home with an orphan boy whom he raised with his own children. At first, the children of Mr. Earnshaw, Hindley, and his younger sister Catherine detest the orphan boy called Heathcliff. As time went on, Catherine, the daughter of Earnshaw, comes to love him, and the two of them became inseparable. Catherine and Heathcliff spend most of their days playing on the moors. Mr. Earnshaw grows to prefer Heathcliff to his own son Hindley after the death of his wife. Hindley, on the other hand, dislikes Heathcliff and treats him badly. When Hindley continues his cruelty to Heathcliff, Mr. Earnshaw was left with no other option than to send him to college as a way of keeping him from treating Heathcliff badly, and also to keep Heathcliff near to him. 3 years later, Mr. Earnshaw dies, and his son, Hindley, inherits Wuthering Heights. Hindley returns home with a wife called Frances, and immediately seeks revenge on Heathcliff. Now that Hindley has inherited Wuthering Heights, Heathcliff was treated as a common laborer who was forced to work in the fields. However, this does not destroy the relationship between Heathcliff and Catherine. One night, the two friends wander to Thrushcross Grange, hoping to tease Edgar and Isabella Linton, the cowardly snobbish children who live there. Unfortunately, Catherine is bitten by a dog and is forced to stay at the Grange to recover. It takes a period of 5 weeks. During this time, Mrs. Linton works to make Catherine a proper young lady. By the time Catherine returns home, she has become infatuated with Edgar, and her relationship with Heathcliff grows more complicated. When the wife of Hindley, Frances, dies, Hindley takes to drinking alcohol, which makes him even more cruel and abusive towards Heathcliff than before. Frances died giving birth to a baby named Hetton. Eventually, Catherine's desire for social development prompts her to become engaged to Edgar Linton, despite her overpowering love for Heathcliff. Catherine refuses to be with Heathcliff because he is poor, so Heathcliff runs away in an attempt to go and find fortune. He was away for 3 years, amassing wealth with the hope of coming back to marry Catherine. On his return, he finds out that Catherine was married to Edgar. He immediately sets about seeking revenge on all the people who wronged him. Having come into a vast and mysterious wealth, Heathcliff deviously lends money to the drunken Hindley, knowing very well that Hindley will increase his debts and fall into deeper despondency. When Hindley dies, Heathcliff inherits the manor, Wuthering Heights. He also places himself in line to inherit Thrushcross Grange by marrying Isabella Linton, whom he treats badly. Catherine becomes ill, gives birth to a daughter, and dies. Heathcliff begs her spirit to remain on earth. Thus, she may take whatever form she will. She may hunt him just as long as she does not leave him alone. Shortly afterwards, Isabella flees to London and gives birth to Heathcliff's first son, named Linton, which was her family name. She keeps the boy with her in London. 30 years pass, during which Nelly Dean serves as Catherine's daughter's nursemaid at Thrushcross Grange. Young Catherine is beautiful and strong-haired, just like her mother, but her temperament is modified by her father's gentler influence. Young Catherine grows up at the Thrushcross Grange with no knowledge of Wuthering Heights. However, she discovers Wuthering Heights as she wanders through the moors. She meets Hareton and plays with him. Soon afterwards, Isabella dies and Linton comes to live with Heathcliff. Heathcliff treats his sickly weaning son even more cruel than he treated the boy's mother. 3 years later, young Catherine meets Heathcliff on the moor and makes a visit to Wuthering Heights to meet Linton. She and Linton begins a secret romance conducted entirely through letters. When Nelly Dean destroys Catherine's collection of letters, young Catherine begins sneaking out at night to spend time with her sick lover. However, it becomes obvious that Heathcliff is the one forcing Linton to woo Catherine, with the hope that if Linton marries Catherine, his legal claim upon Thrushcross Grange and his revenge upon Edgar Linton will be complete. As Edgar Linton grows ill and nears his death, Heathcliff lures Nelly and Catherine to Wuthering Heights. He holds them prisoners until Catherine and Linton get married. Soon after the marriage, Edgar Linton dies, and his death is quickly followed by the death of Heathcliff's son, Linton. Heathcliff now controls both Wuthering Heights and Thrushcross Grange. He forces Catherine to live at Wuthering Heights while he rents Thrushcross Grange to Lockwood. Nelly's story comes to an end as she reaches the present. Lockwood ends his tenancy at Thrushcross Grange and returns to London. 6 months later, he pays a visit to Nelly and learns of further development in the story. Although Catherine initially mocked Hareton's ignorance and illiteracy, she grows to love him as they live together in Wuthering Heights. Heathcliff, on the other hand, is more and more obsessed with the memory of his ex-lover Catherine, to the extent that he begins speaking of a ghost. Shortly after a night spent walking on the moors, Heathcliff dies. Hareton and young Catherine inherit both Wuthering Heights and Thrushcross Grange, and they plan to be married on the next New Year's Day. After hearing the end of the story, Lockwood goes to visit the grave of Catherine and Heathcliff. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share this video.